Hi folks, Steve the Hurricane, and for today's topic of a drink with the hurricane, we're going to talk about closing clients, the art of closing. Cheers. Drink with the Hurricane, the home care sales and marketing talk show that discusses all things growing your home care business. The art of closing is yet another featured presentation of the Referral Masters Bootcamp, February 2018. It's one of my favorite presentations to do. Why? Because it's about closing clients. And you may think, well, I'm pretty good at closing clients, Steve. But here's the challenge that a lot of us are faced with. You ever get a phone call for somebody who calls in and says, I just want a bath visit? And then you go out and you meet with that patient and they only sign up for 2 days a week, 3 days a week for a couple of hours. I'm going to tell you right now, when that happens, you did a disservice to that client. You know why? Because you don't know how to close. We think we know how to close, but we don't. Because that is not the kind of client you should sell. If somebody needs help with a bath visit, what else do they need help with? They're probably not driving anymore, which means they're missing doctor's appointments, not getting adequate food, not getting medications, and all the things associated with transportation. They probably can't keep the house clean and do their laundry anymore. They probably can't cook meals, so they're not eating properly, which means this is somebody who's probably going to end up in the hospital. And by sending out a caregiver twice a week to give that person a shower, you are providing a disservice when that person probably needs 5 to 7 days a week, 3 to 4 hours per visit to help with all of the things that I just mentioned. This is why you need to have a closing process. Of all the things I train my clients on, the unsung hero that puts the most amount of revenue in their pockets is the art of closing, because it helps them to convert people who have a big need, but they only want this, get them to fill the need that fits within their budget to keep them home and out of the hospital so they can age in place with dignity and grace. Now, this is one of the many slides in the closing process. You may think, I'm not a salesperson and I can't close because I'm not a salesperson. You shouldn't be a salesperson. You don't have to be a salesperson. The process does the selling for you. You be a nurse, you be a therapist, you be a doctor, you be a care coordinator, you be a social worker, you be whatever it is that you are. And let the process sell the customer for you. Art of Closing Bootcamp, going to be amazing. Now, when it comes to discussing your services and highlighting those items that pertain to their need, this is when you have a binder and you know all the things that caregivers can do. They can do housekeeping, they can do meal preparation and laundry and bathing assistance and medication reminders and companionship and physical therapy exercises and continence care and transfers and transportation and all these other things that caregivers could do. The list goes on and on. I think it's like 16 or 17 different things a caregiver can do for a patient. You only want to discuss the ones that pertain to the exact situation. There's no point in talking about 16 or 17 different things if they're not asking for it. Pick the 2 or 3 that they're asking and concerned about. They're calling for a bath visit, but they're concerned about meals and medications. You talk about each of those 3 and that's it. That's highlighting the ones that pertain to their needs only. As you're doing so, you want to paint a picture with words as to what it's like having that part of the service provided to the patient. Now, the one I'm going to throw out here, and you are going to thank me for this, because this is going to save you a lot of restaffing cases. Caring companionship. Whether a person asks for it or not is irrelevant. When you discuss caring companionship, you want to say, I know mom is not looking for a friend. What it means is the relationship between the caregiver and the patient is one that works. This does not happen overnight. So after the first visit, which is the first time the caregiver comes into the home, do not call us and say, I don't like the caregiver, I want someone else. Give it 3 to 4 visits before we decide if it's going to work or not. Now, after that 4th visit, if it doesn't work, call us. We have hundreds of caregivers. I can always try another person if I have to. But give it that 3 or 4 visits first to make sure that it's a true need of a change. Now, what ends up happening when you do this, folks, people call you and they may say at the end of the first day, hey, I'm putting you on notice because mom doesn't like the caregiver. Okay, that's fine. And we'll call you again in a couple of days if it doesn't work out. Okay, good. Now you let it go. Let it go a week or two, right? And then 2 weeks later, you call that family member back and say, how is everything going at the house? Oh, mom loves Jennifer. She's the nicest person ever, blah, 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 blah. Well, I'm so glad that it's working out. By the way, what was the issue that came up when we first got started? Oh, Steve, you know, mom didn't like the fabric softener the caregiver used, or something ridiculous like that, right? So here, you just saved yourself a tremendous amount of restaffing and rescheduling because of a one-day first impression that clearly wasn't a lasting one. So this is just a little tiny bit of the art of closing. It's going to help you to sell the cases, to give the patient the care that they need that fits within their budget so that you can grow your business and help the patient stay at home so they can age in place with dignity and grace. For the rest of the program, this is one bullet of a 10-slide presentation on closing. Let the process do the closing for you. To learn the process, you have to come to the Referral Masters Bootcamp. It's going to be amazing. This is my 14th bootcamp in 6 years' time. They are awesome. It's going to sell out. Commit right now to making 2018 your best year yet. Sign up for the Hurricane Marketing Bootcamp right now, where I'll give you everything you need to blow away the competition.